Imagine this. You are standing inside a crowded train station in London. Announcements are echoing through the building. People are talking on their phones. Suitcases are rolling across the floor. A child is crying. Two friends beside you are speaking English so quickly that their words seem to disappear before reaching your ears. You know English. You understand grammar. You recognize thousands of words. But when native speakers begin talking, something strange happens. Your English knowledge remains inside your mind, but your listening ability suddenly vanishes. You hear the first two words, then everything becomes a river of sound. You try to catch one sentence, but while your brain is translating it, the speaker has already said three more. So you rewind the video. You listen again. You still miss something. You rewind again. Soon, a 30-second video takes 10 minutes to understand, and without realizing it, you are training your brain to depend on repetition. This is the hidden problem. Rewinding feels like listening practice, but too much rewinding can make your ears weaker. Real conversations do not have a rewind button. A cashier will not repeat every sentence 5 times. A colleague will not speak at half speed because your mind is still translating the previous sentence. A movie will not stop and wait for your grammar knowledge to arrive. Fast English is not difficult because native speakers know secret words. It is difficult because spoken English is not pronounced the way written English looks. Native speakers cut sounds. They connect words. They weaken small words. They swallow letters. They change the rhythm. They place pressure on important words and rush through everything else. You may be listening for perfect dictionary words while the speaker is producing moving groups of sound. That is why you can read a sentence easily but fail to recognize the same sentence when someone says it naturally. The solution is not to study more grammar. The solution is not to memorize another 1,000 random words. And the solution is not to rewind every 5 seconds. You need to rebuild the way your brain listens. For the next 30 days, you will not chase every word. You will learn how native English moves. You will train your ears to notice rhythm, pressure, prediction, sound changes, and meaning. At first, fast English may still sound like noise, but noise is often only a pattern you have not learned to recognize yet. When a musician listens to a song, they do not hear one giant wall of sound. They hear the drums, the bass, the voice, the timing, and the silence between each part. You must learn to hear English in the same way, not as hundreds of separate words, as a living pattern. There are 5 powerful techniques in this script. They are not common classroom tricks. They will feel unusual because they do not begin with understanding everything. They begin by teaching your ears what to ignore, what to follow, and what to expect. Use them for 30 days, and you may notice something surprising. Native speakers may not become slower. Your brain will simply become faster. Tip 1. Follow the stress islands. Most learners listen to English as though every word has the same importance. But native speakers do not speak that way. Inside almost every sentence, a few words are strong and clear. The other words become smaller, weaker, and faster. Think of a sentence as an ocean. The important words are islands above the water. The small grammar words are often under the surface. Your first job is not to catch the entire ocean. Your first job is to jump from island to island. Listen to this sentence. I was going to call you, but I completely forgot about the meeting. A learner may try to hear every word equally, but a native speaker may place the strongest pressure on call, completely forgot, and meeting. Those words carry most of the message. Even when you miss several small words, you can still understand the main idea. Someone intended to call, they forgot. It was connected to a meeting. This is how strong listeners survive fast speech. They do not panic when one small word disappears. They keep following the important sounds. Many learners make the opposite mistake. The moment they miss one word, they mentally stop. They ask themselves, what was that word? While they are thinking, the conversation continues without them. One missing word becomes 5 missing sentences. From today, create a new rule. Never sacrifice the next sentence to rescue one lost word. Let the lost word go. Continue listening. Meaning often becomes clear later. Native speech contains information in layers. The next sentence may explain the previous sentence. The speaker's emotion may reveal the meaning. A repeated keyword may appear later. Your brain needs enough information to build the full picture. When you stop after one unknown sound, you destroy that picture. For the first 6 days of your training, practice only stress islands. Choose a short video between 1 and 3 minutes. Do not use subtitles during the first listen. Do not stop the video. Do not rewind. Listen from beginning to end and write only the strongest words you hear. You may write something like, yesterday, manager, problem, customer, fixed, happy. That may look incomplete, but it is powerful. You are training your brain to collect the skeleton of the message before worrying about its skin. After the first listen, ask yourself, who is speaking? What is the main situation? What emotion can I hear? Which 5 to 10 words receive the strongest pressure? Now listen one more time with English subtitles. Notice something important. Many words you missed were probably small words such as to, of, a, the, was, have, for, or and. These words are important for grammar, but they are not always strong in speech. Native speakers may pronounce them so lightly that they almost disappear. This is normal. You are not failing. You are discovering the architecture of spoken English. Here is another unusual exercise. Play a short English clip and tap your finger whenever you hear a strong word. Do not repeat the sentence. Do not translate it. Simply follow the beat. English has a heartbeat. Strong words create that heartbeat. When your ears begin to recognize it, long sentences stop sounding like unbroken noise. You begin to hear groups. For example, I wanted to tell you, but I didn't get the chance. You may hear 4 clear beats. Wanted, tell, didn't, chance. The smaller words move quickly between them. This is why native speech can sound fast even when the important information is not arriving very quickly. The speaker is rushing across the bridges between the islands. Follow the islands, and you will stop drowning in the bridges. Do not measure success by the number of words you catch. Measure success by the amount of meaning you keep. Understanding 60% without stopping is more useful than understanding 98% after 12 rewinds. Real listening is forward movement. Train your mind to move forward. By day 6, you may still miss many sounds, but you should begin to feel the rhythm beneath the sentence. That rhythm will become the foundation for everything that follows. Tip 2. Build a blur dictionary. You probably have a vocabulary notebook. It contains written words, meanings, and example sentences. But fast English requires another kind of dictionary, a blur dictionary. A blur dictionary records the difference between how English looks and how it actually sounds in normal conversation. For example, you learned the phrase, "What are you doing?" But in natural speech, you may hear something closer to, "What are you doing?" You learned. Did you eat? But you may hear, "Did you eat?" You learned. I don't know. But the sentence may become a soft, connected sound that barely resembles 3 separate words. The problem is not that the speaker is using new vocabulary. The problem is that your brain has stored only the written version. When the spoken version arrives, your brain searches its memory and finds no match. It feels like an unknown phrase. Your blur dictionary creates that missing connection. For days 7 to 12, choose one speaker. This is important. Do not jump between 10 accents, 20 channels, and 5 different television shows. Choose one clear native speaker whose content you enjoy. Listen to the same voice every day. Every person has repeated habits. They connect certain words in similar ways. They use familiar expressions. They have a personal rhythm. When you stay with one speaker, your brain begins to build a sound map. After a few days, the voice becomes less foreign. You begin to expect how that person will pronounce common phrases. Each day, collect only 5 blurred phrases, not 50. 5. Listen to the full clip once without stopping. Then use the subtitles to find a phrase you failed to recognize. Write the normal sentence on one side. On the other side, write what it sounded like to your ears. Do not worry about perfect spelling. You are not creating correct written English. You are creating a personal sound clue. For example, written, "I should have told you." Sound clue, "I should have told you." Written, "What do you want to do?" Sound clue, "What do you want to do?" Written, "Could you give me a minute?" Sound clue, "Could you give me a minute?" Written, "I'm going to have to leave." Sound clue, "I'm gonna have to leave." Your sound clue must help your ears, not impress a grammar teacher. Then play the phrase 3 times. On the first listen, read the normal sentence. On the second listen, look at your sound clue. On the third listen, close your eyes. This creates a bridge between meaning and sound. After that, say the phrase yourself. Do not speak it slowly and perfectly. Copy the speaker's movement. Copy where the voice rises. Copy where it falls. Copy which words become weak. Copy the emotional energy. This is not about changing your identity or hiding your accent. It is about teaching your mouth what your ears are trying to recognize. When your mouth can produce a connected sound, your ears become more likely to notice it. Production strengthens recognitions. This is one reason children often understand expressions they cannot explain grammatically. They have heard and repeated the sound pattern as one unit. You must begin learning some phrases in the same way, as sound units, not word puzzles. Imagine hearing the phrase, "Do you know what I mean?" in a fast conversation. A speaker may compress it into a smooth chain. A learner who searches for 6 perfect words may hear nothing. A trained listener recognizes the entire chain as one familiar object. This is your goal. Do not memorize every possible reduction in English. That would become another exhausting grammar project. Collect the reductions that appear in the content you actually watch. Your Blur dictionary must be personal. If you watch workplace videos, collect workplace phrases. If you watch interviews, collect interview expressions. If you watch travel content, collect travel language. You are training for your real English life. At the end of each day, review yesterday's 5 phrases. Play or speak them randomly. Then ask yourself whether you can recognize the full phrase without seeing the written version. By day 12, you will have around 30 blurred phrases. 30 may not sound like a lot, but common phrases repeat constantly. They are the hidden glue of conversation. When your brain begins recognizing them automatically, listening feels slower because you are no longer decoding each word separately. You are recognizing complete sound shapes. This is how fast readers understand sentences. They do not examine every letter. They recognize whole words and familiar groups. Strong listeners do the same thing with sound. Tip 3. Predict before the sound arrives. Many learners believe listening begins when the speaker starts talking, but advanced listening begins 1 second earlier. It begins with prediction. Your brain is always trying to guess what will happen next. You do this naturally in your first language. When someone says, "Can you close the..." your brain already expects words such as door, window, or perhaps curtain. You do not wait with an empty mind. Context prepares the possible answer. Because your brain has created a small group of likely words, recognition becomes faster. In English, many learners listen with an empty mind. They wait for each sound. They try to identify it. Then they search for the meaning. Then they translate it. By the time this process ends, the next sentence is gone. Prediction removes several steps. It changes listening from receiving sound into confirming a guess. For days 13 to 18, you will train this ability. Before playing a video, study the title and the first image. Ask yourself, what is this person probably going to discuss? Which 10 words may appear? What opinion might they have? What questions might they answer? Suppose the video title is, "Why I Quit My Job and Moved Abroad." Before listening, predict words such as stress, manager, money, family, afraid, opportunity, decision, country, future, and freedom. You may also predict the shape of the story. First, the speaker may describe the old job, then the problem, then the decision, then the fear, then the result. Now your brain has a roadmap. When fast sounds arrive, they are not entering an empty room. They are entering a room with labeled shelves. This makes recognition easier. Here is the rare part of the exercise. Pause before the speaker finishes an important sentence. Do not rewind. Do not translate. Predict the final word or idea. For example, I knew that if I stayed in that job, I would eventually... What may come next? Burn out. Become unhappy. Regret it. Lose myself. Your prediction does not need to be correct. The purpose is to force your brain into an active listening position. A passive listener waits. An active listener hunts. When your brain hunts for meaning, attention becomes sharper. You start noticing emotional clues, sentence direction, and common word partnerships. English contains thousands of predictable partnerships. People make a decision. They take a risk. They miss an opportunity. They reach a goal. They solve a problem. They change their mind. When you hear the beginning of these patterns, your brain can prepare for the ending. This is not cheating. This is real comprehension. Even native speakers do not hear every sound perfectly. Background noise, distance, speed, and unclear pronunciation can hide parts of a sentence. Native speakers fill those gaps using context and probability. They understand not only because their ears are better, but because their predictions are stronger. You can train this. After listening to a clip, do not ask only, "Which words did I miss?" Ask, "What did I expect correctly? Where did the speaker surprise me? Which sentence endings were predictable? Which common word groups appeared?" Then choose 5 sentences from the clip and remove the final important word. Read the beginning aloud and try to complete it naturally. For example, "I didn't want to waste any more." You may predict time. "The biggest mistake I made was not asking for." You may predict help. "I was nervous at first, but eventually I became more." You may predict confident. This exercise strengthens the pathways that fast listening depends on. You can also predict the speaker's emotion. Before playing the next part, ask, Will the voice become excited, serious, disappointed, relieved? Emotion changes pronunciation. Excited speech becomes quicker and higher. Serious speech may become slower and heavier. Sarcastic speech may place pressure on unusual words. When you predict emotion, you prepare for the sound style as well as the vocabulary. There is another important reason prediction works. It keeps you connected to meaning. Weak listeners often become sound collectors. They hear individual words but lose the story. They understand meeting, Friday, manager, and problem, but they do not know who caused the problem or what will happen on Friday. Prediction forces you to follow the direction of the message. You are not listening to catch words. You are listening to discover what happens next. That curiosity is powerful. Curiosity keeps the mind awake. By day 18, begin listening to the first minute of a video and stopping it. Predict what the speaker will say during the next 2 minutes. Then continue and compare. You will slowly build an instinct for spoken English. Fast speech becomes less frightening when the destination is not completely unknown. Tip 4. Use the delayed echo. Most learners know about shadowing. They play a sentence and repeat it immediately. This can be useful, but many people turn it into meaningless imitation. Their mouth follows the sounds while their mind understands nothing. The delayed echo is different. Instead of speaking at the same time as the speaker, you wait 2 or 3 seconds. Then you repeat the meaning in the speaker's rhythm. This small delay changes everything. It forces your brain to hold a piece of English in short-term memory. It trains you to remember sound groups instead of separate words. It also reveals the exact place where your understanding breaks. For days 19 to 24, practice the delayed echo for 10 minutes each day. Choose a video with clear conversation. Play one complete sentence. Do not stop after every 3 words. Wait until the speaker finishes the thought. Then pause. Take one breath. Repeat as much as you can remember. Copy the rhythm, but protect the meaning. If the sentence is, "I didn't really enjoy the movie at first, but the ending completely changed my opinion," you may remember, "I didn't enjoy it at first, but the ending changed my opinion." That is acceptable. You kept the structure and meaning. You are training your brain to carry English forward. After repeating, play the original sentence one more time. Notice what disappeared from your memory. Was it a weak grammar word? A connected phrase? An unfamiliar expression? A long section in the middle? This gives you a precise diagnosis. Many learners say, "My listening is bad." That is too general. The delayed echo shows the real problem. Perhaps you understand the sentence but cannot hold it in memory. Perhaps you recognize the words individually but cannot process them at natural speed. Perhaps you lose information whenever the sentence contains a contrast such as although, however, or even though. Perhaps you hear the beginning and ending but lose the middle. Once the problem becomes specific, it becomes trainable. Use 3 levels. Level 1 is the exact echo. Repeat the sentence as closely as possible. Level 2 is the meaning echo. Repeat the same idea using simpler words. Level 3 is the emotional echo. Say what the speaker truly means in one short sentence. Imagine the speaker says, "I wouldn't exactly say the restaurant was terrible, but I definitely won't be going back." The exact echo copies the sentence. The meaning echo may be, "The restaurant was not good enough for me to return." The emotional echo may be, "I really didn't like it." These 3 levels train sound, comprehension, and interpretation. Real native English is often indirect. People do not always say exactly what they feel. "I'm not completely convinced" may mean "I disagree." "That's an interesting idea" may sometimes mean "I do not think that will work." "You might want to check that again" may mean you made a mistake. Understanding the words is only the first layer. Understanding the intention is the deeper layer. The delayed echo teaches both. There is one strict rule. Do not use tiny pieces. Train with complete thoughts. Your brain needs experience carrying full sentences. In real conversations, meaning often changes near the end. Consider, "I thought the plan was a great idea until I saw the final cost." If you stop after "great idea," you misunderstand the message. The final part reverses everything. Training with complete thoughts teaches patience. It teaches your brain not to decide the meaning too early. During these 6 days, gradually increase the sentence length. Begin with 5 to 8 seconds. Then move toward 10 or 12 seconds. Do not chase perfection. Aim to hold the main meaning. You can make this exercise more powerful by walking while listening. Physical movement can reduce overthinking. Walk slowly in a room. Listen to one sentence. Pause. Continue walking and repeat it. This makes the exercise feel more like real conversation, where your body, eyes, and attention are not completely frozen. Another variation is the one-breath summary. Listen to 30 seconds without stopping, then explain everything you understood in one breath. You will be forced to choose the central meaning. This prevents your mind from becoming trapped by small details. By day 24, you should notice that longer sentences no longer disappear immediately. Your brain begins holding them as complete packages. That ability is essential because natural conversations do not arrive one clean word at a time. They arrive as moving thoughts. Tip 5. Train inside controlled chaos. Many learners practice only with perfect audio. The speaker is close to the microphone. The room is quiet. The vocabulary is simple. The subtitles are available. Then they enter a real conversation and feel shocked. There is traffic. Someone laughs. Another person interrupts. The speaker turns their head. Words overlap. The topic suddenly changes. Real listening contains chaos. You cannot prepare for real English by living forever inside perfect audio, but jumping directly into difficult movies or crowded conversations can destroy your confidence. You need controlled chaos. For days 25 to 30, make listening slightly uncomfortable on purpose. Not impossible. Slightly uncomfortable. Begin by playing a familiar video through a small speaker instead of headphones. Sit a little farther away. Your brain will receive less perfect sound. It will need to depend more on rhythm and context. The next day, listen while doing a simple activity such as folding clothes, preparing tea, or organizing your desk. Do not choose a dangerous activity. The purpose is divided attention. Real conversations often happen while you are doing something else. Your brain must learn to keep the meaning even when 100% of your focus is unavailable. On another day, listen to a conversation with two speakers. Two voices create a new challenge. You must recognize when the speaker changes, follow different rhythms, and remember who expressed each opinion. Start with a familiar topic. Do not select a complex political debate or scientific lecture. Choose something you can understand from context. Then try audio with light background noise, a cafe interview, a street conversation, a travel vlog, a group discussion. Your goal is not to catch everything. Your goal is to remain calm when the sound becomes imperfect. This emotional skill is rarely discussed. Many listening failures are not caused only by language. They are caused by panic. The learner misses one sentence and immediately thinks, "I understand nothing." The body becomes tense. Attention becomes narrow. Memory becomes weaker. The next sentence feels even more difficult. Panic creates the proof for its own fear. You need a recovery method. Whenever you become lost, do not chase the missing words. Ask 3 rescue questions. What is the topic right now? What emotion do I hear? What was the last clear idea? These questions bring you back into the conversation. Imagine 2 people are discussing a trip. You miss 10 seconds. Do not mentally leave the room. You still know the topic is travel. You hear one speaker sounding frustrated. The last clear idea was a delayed flight. That is enough to re-enter. Perhaps they are discussing the airline, the airport, lost luggage, or arriving late. Stay available for the next clue. Strong listeners recover quickly. They do not understand every second. They know how to return after confusion. During controlled chaos training, use the 70% rule. Choose content where you can understand around 70% of the main meaning. If you understand almost everything, the content is too easy. If you understand almost nothing, the content is too difficult. 70% creates productive struggle. It gives your brain enough known information to guess the unknown parts. On day 27, try the No Rescue Challenge. Watch a 3-minute video. No subtitles, no pausing, no rewinding. When it ends, record a voice note explaining what you understood. Then watch it once with subtitles. Compare the real message with your explanation. Do not focus only on mistakes. Notice what you understood without help. Learners often underestimate their listening because they remember every missed word and forget every correct idea. Train yourself to notice successful understanding. On day 28, watch the same speaker at slightly faster playback speed for 1 minute. Then return to normal speed. Normal speed may suddenly feel calmer. Use this carefully. Speed training is not meant to replace natural listening. It is a short exercise that stretches your processing ability. On day 29, listen to a completely new speaker discussing a familiar subject. This tests whether your skill can travel. You have spent several days learning one voice, its rhythm, and its habits. Now transfer those skills to someone else. Do not expect equal comfort immediately. A new voice may feel difficult for the first minute. stay with it. Your brain needs time to adjust to the new sound map. On day 30, create a real listening test. Choose a 5-minute video you have never watched. Use no subtitles during the first listen. Do not pause. Do not rewind. When it ends, answer 5 questions. What was the main message? Which 3 details do I remember? What emotion or opinion did the speaker express? Which parts became unclear? Did I recover after becoming lost? That final question matters deeply. Your goal is not perfect hearing. Your goal is resilient understanding. You want the ability to miss something without losing everything. Now think about your old listening habit. You played a sentence. You missed one word. You stopped. You rewound. You listened again. Your brain learned that confusion meant danger and repetition would rescue you. During these 30 days, you are teaching it a new lesson. Confusion is temporary. Meaning can survive missing words. Context can repair broken sound. The next sentence can bring you back. You do not need to control every second of English to understand the speaker. Remember the 5 changes. First, stop chasing every word and follow the stress islands. Listen for the words carrying the weight of the sentence. Second, build a blurred dictionary. Connect the clean written form of English to the compressed sound you hear in real speech. Third, predict before the sound arrives. Use the topic, emotion, and sentence direction to prepare likely meanings. Fourth, use the delayed echo. Hold complete thoughts in memory, repeat them, and discover exactly where your understanding breaks. Fifth, train inside controlled chaos. Practice recovering when the audio is imperfect, the speaker changes, or your attention is divided. Do not try to master all 5 techniques in one day. That creates excitement, but not transformation. Follow the sequence. Days 1 to 6, Stress Islands. Days 7 to 12, Blur Dictionary. Days 13 to 18, Prediction. Days 19 to 24, Delayed Echo. Days 25 to 30, Controlled Chaos. Keep your daily practice between 20 and 30 minutes. 10 focused minutes are better than 1 distracted hour. Your brain changes through repeated contact, not through one exhausting session. There may be days when English feels slower and clearer. There may be other days when you feel you have learned nothing. Do not judge your progress from one difficult video. Listening growth is often hidden. For several days, your brain collects patterns silently. Then one day, a phrase that once sounded like noise becomes obvious. You understand it without translation. You do not know exactly when you learned it. It simply appears. That moment is not luck. It is the result of hundreds of small connections becoming strong enough to work automatically. The greatest change will happen when you stop asking, "How can I hear every word?" and begin asking, "How can I stay connected to the meaning?" That is the secret. Native English is not a test where every missing word removes 1 mark. It is a moving message. Sometimes the message is carried by rhythm, sometimes by one strong verb, sometimes by emotion, sometimes by the sentence before it, sometimes by what the speaker does not say directly. Your ears are only one part of listening. Your predictions, memory, attention, and emotional calm are also listening skills. So the next time a native speaker talks quickly, do not tell yourself, "They are speaking too fast." Tell yourself, "There is a pattern inside this sound." Do not attack the sentence with panic. Let it move. Follow the strong words. Notice the emotion. Predict the direction. Hold the complete thought. And when one part disappears, do not disappear with it. Stay inside the conversation. Fast English is not a wall. It is a door that opens when your brain stops demanding perfect sound. 30 days from now, the speakers may use the same speed. They may connect the same words. They may swallow the same sounds. But you will not be listening with the same brain. You will hear islands where you once heard an ocean. You will recognize phrases where you once heard a blur. You will predict endings before they arrive. You will carry longer thoughts without losing them. And most importantly, you will stop being afraid of missing one word. Because you will finally understand that real fluency does not begin when you hear everything. It begins when missing something no longer stops you.